name's Caroline Michelle and I'm originally from Sydney in Australia, and I've come quite far around the world to study international economic law, Masters in International Economic Law. So the reason that I wanted to study international economic law was purely personal. It was an area of law that I wanted to find out more about, but I knew that it was going to be probably much better for me to do that in Europe, because that's sort of the hub of that area of law. It's the hub of trade. And I was also particularly interested in international arbitration and investment arbitration. Edinburgh, secondly, also had such a great reputation, not only in this area of law, but in law generally. It's one of the top UK universities for law, as well as one of the top global universities for law. So that obviously was the number one reason why I chose it. And then finally, I also was particularly drawn to this program because I saw that some other universities that I was looking at didn't offer as much of a tailored program as the international economic law one was. So it was an easy choice for me to make, and I was very lucky to be accepted. Definitely what stood out for me were the staff. So they were so experienced and came from such a diverse background. And I found that it meant that the classes themselves were so enriching, and you got so much more out of the 2 hours than you potentially would somewhere else. And so that was one of the best experiences that I found. Like in some courses, particularly, the experience of the lecturers meant that they could draw upon other lecturers to bring in as guest lecturers. They could draw upon a broad range of experience, whether it be in practice or in academics. And I found that in international economic law, that breadth of experience was really, really high, and that was fantastic. And secondly, I also really loved how contemporary and relevant the program was. All of the subjects offered seemed to touch on issues that were happening now. And because, it's a constantly evolving and changing sphere and atmosphere, it was important for them to do that. So it was really great how sometimes they'd plan out what we'd be studying for the 12 weeks, but then halfway through, when the trade wars happened, for example, the program changed. Or when Brexit was put on hold or changing, the program would change to adapt to those things. And I found that really enhanced what we were learning in the classroom. Well, ideally, I would like to work in international arbitration. That's the longer term plan for me. I'm currently working in equity and capital markets, which does enable me to sort of draw upon some of the financial knowledge I learned, as well as sort of the common trade knowledge. Eventually, I'd like to move into international economic law or arbitration. And I'm hoping sort of further down the line to be a barrister or an academic, actually. I'm actually thinking of either going down those two paths. So I may be back in Edinburgh again in a few years, who knows?